Now that OTAs and mandatory minicamps are both behind us, it's time to talk about winners and losers coming out of both before we head into training camp. So what is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports all back at it with another video talking, of course, NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, please do hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure you're following me on all my social media platforms, guys. And as always, hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. All right, so let's talk about this, all right? Winners and losers. Let's start with the winners coming out of OTAs and minicamp. And the first winner that I'm going to go with is a guy who kind of went under the radar, was one of our free agent pickups, and it was at a position that we really didn't need, but he is still shining through, and that is Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan, the tight end that we got previously from the Green Bay Packers. And, obviously we have a tight end one in Cole Kmet. So when I say we didn't need a tight end, we didn't need a starting tight end, which is what Rob Tonyan is, by the way, okay? He would be starting for a lot of teams, but as a tight end too, oh my goodness, he is a luxury to have, and he has been impressive so far, just being a big-bodied red zone threat for Justin Fields. If you guys have not seen the highlights, go check them out. There's some highlights out there of Fields throwing tight ropes to Rob Tonyan, Big Bob Tonyan in the red zone, and I think Tonyan's going to be on the field a lot with Cole Kmet. I don't think he was brought in to take time away from Kmet. In fact, he was brought in, again, to be your tight end too, but also to run two tight end sets, which I believe the Bears will do. And I just feel like he gives Justin Fields another security blanket. Like, I love the fact that Fields has another guy he can trust, and I think Robert Tonyan is going to put up a large touchdown total, if you will, because I think he'll be used a lot in the red zone, and I think he's done nothing but just improve his stock coming out of OTAs and minicamp. So that's my first winner. Let's move on to my second winner, and that is rookie Tyrique Stevenson. Now, a lot of Ryan Poles' rookies have looked good so far, so maybe I should all group them together. But let me just talk about Tyrique real quick here, okay? Going into OTAs and minicamp, Tyrique Stevenson was not handed anything, right? He had to earn the cornerback 2 job opposite Jalen Johnson, but he has done so. Right? I know he had that clear opportunity, but you still have to take advantage of it. And right now, he looks like he is primed to be our starting cornerback, starting outside cornerback opposite Jalen Johnson. He looks like a guy who's not scared. It looks like a guy who's ready to put in the work. And he looks like a guy who's got all of the skill set and also is ready to take the mantle to be able to start as a rookie. All right? And that's not easy to say. And so Tyrique Stevenson, been fairly impressed by him. I would say he is another winner, all right? And like I was telling you guys about Ryan Poles' rookies have looked good this year. Another guy, Gervon Dexter, man. He is a guy who a lot of people, including myself, thought he was a little too raw. Maybe the Bears reached for him, but so far, early returns are that he is showing his sort of power, if you will, in the interior, and he's been able to go up against, the Bears' first team O-line and been able to wreak a bit of a havoc there. So I think on the interior with Dexter and what he can provide, I think we'll be pleasantly surprised here, right? And so I like what I've seen so far from Dexter, and so have the Bears coaches. So he is another winner for the Bears. Another one, Cody Whitehair. Similar to Tyrique Stevenson here, you're right. You're kind of like penciled in as the starter, if you will, at the center spot. But hey, you still got to earn it. And the fact of the matter is, Matt Eberflus came out and said, Cody Whitehair is a starting center. All right, that's it. And Lucas Patrick is the backup. And so it wasn't even much of a competition like I thought it would be. Now, again, we still have training camp to go, so we'll see. But he is an early winner based off of that. So those are kind of my early winners here. Now, look, of course, I didn't mention Justin Fields, and I didn't mention DJ Moore because I thought that was fairly obvious. So I was trying to go for guys that are a little bit not as obvious here. But of course, Justin Fields, has looked good. But there were stretches where the offense apparently has struggled in especially mandatory minicamp. And, there were reports about that as well. But the chemistry with DJ Moore, I mean, that's lights out. Like the Panthers, they are all probably already regretting this trade. So that's why I didn't mention that. Let's talk about a couple losers here. Jack Sanborn. This is my first loser here. Now, through no fault of his own, because he's been hurt with the same injury that he was hurt in last season, but he just has not been able to get back. And what happens is when you are not able to provide your availability, somebody else comes in and takes your spot. And that is what Noah Sewell, another one of Ryan Poles' rookies, has been able to do. And so I'm not saying Jack Sanborn is losing his starting spot, but I am saying that if he does not come back, it might be a case where it slowly does lead to that. And he is going to go from a backup to a starter to eventually maybe even a backup if somebody else takes a spot. But yeah, so him being out, again, it just sucks, man. But that's the problem here. So he is going to be my first loser. My second one, similar situation as Jack Sanborn. It's Chase Claypool. Look, I'm a big believer in Chase Claypool. I've already said that. I am going ahead and planting my flag saying Chase Claypool will be good for the Bears. They will be a winner in this trade. But thus far, even though Claypool, through no fault of his own, has been disappointing, especially during OTAs and minicamp, because he has not been able to practice fully. He's been out, had a soft tissue injury that he picked up. So, like, those just things just come up, and you get these rumors about how the Bears are unhappy. And it's like, okay, now Chase Claypool not only has to go out there and play well, but he has to play even a little bit better because the expectations are even more because of all of these extra things that have come out. So that's just another reason why it just sucks, because I don't think it's Chase Claypool doing this, but it's just the factors around him that are making it even more difficult. So again, he is a loser for me. It sucks, but that's just the reality of the situation at this point, it feels like. All right, finally, number 3, Velus Jones Jr. Look, folks, I'm not one to you just give up on a guy going into the second year, but we're talking about a guy who was used with a third-round pick. Not a 6th, 7th round pick, a third-round pick. All right, and we're talking about a guy who's on the bubble as a roster spot, because the Bears will carry probably 6 receivers. You got DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and Darnell Mooney. Then you got Tyler Scott as 4 locks. And your 5th, 6th spot, you're competing between 3 guys in Velus, Pettis, and ESB Equanimous St. Brown. And if Velus Jones Jr. isn't able to separate himself from 2 guys in ESB and Dante Pettis, who are career journeymen, then that shows that maybe he was not the right draft pick. Again, way too early, but the returns aren't looking as good. So again, I hope Velus is able to showcase this, but he just, through OTAs and through minicamp, has not been able to stand out. He just hasn't. I haven't read and heard enough about him. Right? He has not been making noise. And again, he was also hurt last year, so that was another problem. So let's see. Hopefully, Velus proves me wrong. Hopefully, he makes the roster because he deserves to, and, you know, he earns his way on there. But thus far, it's been disappointing. It's been disappointing for Velus Jones Jr., and I hope he turns it around. So there you have, folks, my winners and losers coming out of OTAs and minicamps. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anybody? Anybody that you would say is a winner or a loser? Let me know down below, as always.